Hey friends, it's Dimitri with Brashka Streetwear. In front of me here, I have a Los Angeles Apparel USA made 100% cotton hoodie that I tested out over the course of around 30 days. So that's kind of the total number of days I wore it for. And I put it through the wash around 3 times and I learned some things from this. So basically my goal for the new year was to have a new hoodie blank. I wanted to transition into using a new hoodie, a boxier fit, simplified construction. And basically what happened was I ended up settling on either choosing this one from Los Angeles Apparel or the Independent Trading Company hoodie. And these two hoodies have sort of a similar fit, and they are both garment dyed or pigment dyed, so they have this really washed out look, which I really like. And they are also both really heavyweight. This one here is, I think, an ounce heavier than the Independent Trading Company, but when you wear them and hold them side by side, they really don't feel that much different. This one does not really feel that much heavier. And in fact, this one actually feels heavier and sturdier in some ways, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So back onto this hoodie. So originally I was really excited about transitioning to this hoodie, but what I found out was through my own testing was I probably will not use this hoodie, and I ended up using the new Independent Trading Company blank hoodies for several reasons. So the biggest issue with this hoodie for me personally after testing it was these cuffs. These cuffs are too thin and they failed within a few weeks of wearing it, and I'll show you the failure points. So right here, the unfortunate part with 100% cotton, specifically with hoodies, is that they are not as strong as a cotton poly blend, so like a cotton polyester blend like the Independent Trading Company hoodies. 100% cotton is often softer, it's more environmentally friendly, but it's really not as durable in many instances. And here's another example of the sleeve failing on me. So as soon as this happened, only within wearing this for about 2 weeks, I knew that I can't go with this hoodie, because if it fails like that, it's going to fail on the customer, which is kind of like a lesson from this, is that when you are looking for a good blank hoodie to use, whether you get them here in the US or you find, there's many blanks that you can use, or you have a custom one made overseas, what you really want to do is you want to test it yourself, maybe give it to some friends and family, have them wear it for a extended amount of time, wash it a few times, see how it fits, shrinks, see if it has any failure points. And once you know that, you will know whether or not you should probably go with this hoodie or a different hoodie, because you don't want a hoodie where it's going to be failing so quickly. And then another big failure point on this hoodie was right here next to the pocket. This also ripped within 2 weeks, unfortunately. I believe because it's 100% cotton and there's not enough strength in here, there's too much tension on this point. And this was also a failure point. So this hoodie was worn under normal conditions. This didn't get snagged anywhere. I wasn't like doing construction in this hoodie or anything. I basically was wearing it to the office, to the mall, just outside, like a normal hoodie. And it had 3 points of failure, and I wasn't happy about that. The other thing too about this hoodie that I don't like, I did mention earlier, the cuffs, they're just too thin. But this bottom cuff is also too thin, and it kind of wants to curl in on itself, as you could tell right here. So the fit doesn't really look that good. I will say though, at the end of the day, I still like this hoodie, and I'm gonna wear it until it falls apart, because it's just a sample hoodie, and I'm not gonna just throw it away. It still works for me. But I learned that the Independent hoodie, and maybe obviously there's other hoodies out there in the world that are even better than this one, but this hoodie is better than this one for my needs, and I'll go on to that hoodie right now. So I do have a hoodie that Independent Trading Company hoodie that I also wore for a month and tested it. I left it at home though, so this is a new one, but it did not have any failure points. The cuffs didn't fail. It didn't fail on the kangaroo pocket or anything like that. So this one is a new one with a design that I printed on, and it's been selling and whatnot. But I'm going to explain some things that I like about this hoodie more than than the other hoodie. So for me, the construction of it is even a little bit more simplified. So both of these hoodies do not have any hoodie strings, and they do have some simplified construction, but this one is even better, I think, because the pocket here has less of the stitching, but it's still just as strong or stronger than this, obviously, because it hasn't failed from my, the one I tested out. And then the biggest thing about these hoodies as well is that they have really rigid and sturdy cuffs on the bottom and on the sleeves. So I would say, from my experience and from wearing hoodies for years, you do want really rigid and strong cuffs. Having a cuff like this isn't going to cut it. You can see the thickness, the difference between them, because this is a point where it's going to get rubbed on surfaces quite a bit. And that's probably going to be the first point that fails on a hoodie, is either right here or on the pocket. So make sure that the hoodies have those two features well locked in and well built. If they have those features that are well built, it's probably going to be a good hoodie. But overall, I really like this new independent trading company hoodie. So I've used their blank hoodies for years, but I wanted to get one that's kind of a simplified construction, a boxier fit, and one that's more heavyweight as my brand is transitioning. It does cost more, but you have to bump up the price, obviously, for the customer, because they're getting a better quality product. I will probably still be using the other independent trading company hoodies with the hoodie strings and whatnot for certain designs and for certain reasons, but for my main hoodie, I'm definitely going to be going with this one. And yeah, I really like it. And this is kind of a lesson as to why you should be testing out hoodies when you are introducing a new one for your brand, whether you're starting out or whether you're transitioning to a new hoodie. And I will also be making sure that I pay attention to any customer feedback. If I all of a sudden start having a bunch of customer complaints about this hoodie for one reason or the other, I will revert back to using the other hoodies I had before, because they're still great. They're just a little bit less heavyweight. Or I will, stop and then pivot and look for another hoodie and try again. But for now, this one has been working out pretty well. I've been using it for about 2 or 3 months now. And yeah, and this another thing too, which is one last point I want to talk about, is that USA made does not equal quality. So this is kind of an interesting thing that a lot of people think of. They think of, if it automatically says made in the USA, specific for Americans, that means it's going to be quality. But this is made in the USA, but the quality is less than this hoodie. And this hoodie, the blank, costs less than this one, because typically if you get stuff manufactured in the US, they're going to be paying the workers here higher wages because the cost of living here is more for everything. And there's other certain laws and stuff like that. So this hoodie costs more, but the quality is less, and USA made does not equal quality. Quality is a process, it's not a country. So yes, there are countries like Japan where if it says made in Japan, there's going to be a higher likely chance that product is going to be made, is going to be a quality product, because the country itself is oriented around those principles. And the United States as well, because we were a manufacturing oriented company in the past, we did produce really high level quality products, and we were a leader in manufacturing. But because we transitioned overseas and a lot of companies went overseas during the 1980s and 90s and 2000s, that sort of aspect of our country really diminished, and we're no longer a manufacturing country. So made in the USA does not automatically equal quality. It can, depending on the company, but really, at the end of the day, quality is a process and not a country. So you can have items made in China, like Nike and Apple. They make their stuff in China, but China is manufacturing oriented, and they do have companies that run really well and they know what they're doing. So there are obviously companies in China that have very high quality and obviously very low quality as well. So you have to kind of shop around and see what works for you. Maybe you do find a manufacturer that's in the US and they make really high quality hoodies. Maybe you find hoodies made somewhere else and they're very high quality. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're testing stuff out and see if it works for you and for your price and budget and everything. If you guys got any value in this video, or if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.